So you always have to go to a hospital or a diagnostic center to get your ECG done, and only then you can actually know whether your heart is normal or not. So that made us think, and me and Rahul, we both had those enterprising skills and enterprising kida, as we call it in Hindi. So we thought that why not work on something and miniaturize the whole ECG setup and empower each individual to take his own ECG and know what is going on in his heart. So that actually encouraged us to start Agatsa and to start researching on this product called SanketLife.
Welcome to our series entitled The IM Podcast, a podcast about innovation, business, and most importantly, people. In this series, we'll be talking to founders, executives, and various experts about their vision, challenges, best practices, and lessons learned throughout their journey. Let's get started. Hello and what's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of the IM Podcast. Wow, the year is almost over, but today I'm excited. I'm going to be with the co-founder of Noida-based startup, Agatsa, Neha Rastogi. Hey, Neha.
Hi May, how are you doing?
I am very good, excited. This is the most wonderful time, the busiest time of the year in the Philippines. It's Christmas time. I wonder, how are you doing? And are you going to celebrate Christmas there?
Yeah, so it's getting colder in Delhi, and we do celebrate Christmas. Like we decorate our offices. We do put up a Christmas tree. We celebrate like by playing some games and having some good food. So we are definitely going to do that.
Fantastic. Merry Christmas to you and your team.
Merry Christmas to you too, May.
Okay, would love to know you more, Neha. So please share more about you, your backstory, your expertise, your passion.
Sure. So, May, I am an electronics and telecommunication engineering graduate, and I did my engineering from a Muslim university in Aligarh, in Uttar Pradesh of India. And post that, I was working in corporate, like I was into software development and testing and all of that. And my husband Rahul, he was also my batchmate in college, and then he was also working in product development, electronics product development, precisely mobile phone development. And he has been working with companies like Samsung, LG, and SG Microelectronics, and all of these. And it so happened that in 2013, some medical emergency occurred in our family. Rahul's father was detected with a cardiac problem, and while researching for the tools and how we can manage his cardiac problem, how we can know on the right time that anything nasty is happening in his heart. We did some research. We wanted to have some tool like a blood pressure monitor or a thermometer, which he can keep it in his pockets, and anytime he has a problem he can take out, monitor his heart, and feel free that everything is fine. So while researching, we found that ECG is the first test, and the traditional ECG system or ECG machinery is very cumbersome. So you always have to go to a hospital or a diagnostic center to get your ECG done, and only then you can actually know whether your heart is normal or not. So that made us think, and me and Rahul, we both had those enterprising skills and enterprising, these kida, as we call it in Hindi. So we thought that why not work on something and miniaturize the whole ECG setup and empower each individual to take his own ECG and know what is going on in his heart. So that actually encouraged us to start Agatsa and to start researching on this product called SanketLife.
Wow. Okay. By the way, how's your father-in-law now?
Oh, unfortunately, he's no more with us. He actually succumbed to cancer, so he also was detected with cancer. But till he was alive, SanketLife actually helped him a lot in his cardiac problem. So yeah, he was a proud father.
Oh, okay. First, I'm so sorry to hear that, but I'm happy to hear that he was able to try out
Yes,
Sanket Life.
yes.
Wow. Okay, so how was it? I mean, he's the first user. So, what were the challenges, researching or developing the product?
So, to be honest, May for us, it was the problem that needed to be solved because at least in a developing country like India, many people succumb to cardiac problems because there's a delay in diagnosing a problem, and then there's a delay in getting the right treatment. So for us, this problem was very big, and we had to solve it in a way that people can get to know that there is a problem in their heart, and they can also manage their problem in collaboration with the medical providers. So we had to make it as easy as possible. So that is when our education as electronics engineering came handy, and also our professional experience in developing a product. Like Rahul had experience in developing a product, and I had experience in managing the whole life cycle of software. So this product Sanket Life was a mix of a hardware device and a software layer or a mobile app running across it. So that's how we made a team, and that's how we started working on how to miniaturize the whole setup, and also to make it very very easy to use and affordable, so that every person globally, because cardiac problem is a global problem, so globally every person is able to use it, and it has to be it has to be a product which works across boundaries.
Nice. As a person like living in a third world country or like a developing country too, like the Philippines, I can totally understand the pain. Like you have to go to the hospital, like
Yeah.
accessibility, right? And cardiovascular diseases. By the way, how worse is CVD in India?
Oh, very. I mean, it's like it's the number one killer disease in among NCDs, that is non-communicable diseases. So obviously, India is still dealing with communicable diseases, but apart from that, among NCDs, cardiac problems are the number one killer disease. And the reason being that we are genetically very prone. Our food is something, our diet is something that needs a lot of improvement if we want to take care of our hearts. And then a lot of stress and blood pressure problems, diabetes problems. So there are a lot of other problems which add to these CVDs. So, if I account 100% deaths in India, approximately 75% happen due to cardiac.
So this is definitely a very helpful product. So you started developing the prototype, and how does this work? I mean, the MVP.
Yeah, so that's a story. There's a story behind it. Since me and Rahul, we both are partners in life, and so we decided to become partners in Agatsa, and we started a small lab in one of our bedrooms, and we actually. Kind of hoarded instruments, and we sometimes we borrowed, sometimes we begged, sometimes we purchased, and that's how we created a lab in our bedrooms, and in one of the bedroom, and that's how we started working on the micro circuit. And once the circuit was there, the minimum viable product that you talked about, we had a challenge of how to present it, because that circuit needed a case, and so that and then sensors on top of it, so that we can present it to the world at least. So we actually, the first working prototype, we actually assembled it in a matchbox or a cardboard box, and we did presented it in front of at least 50 investors. And that's how we showed them that, see, this is working. We are putting our thumbs on the sensors and the ECG is coming on the mobile phone. And they were like, wow, because that was something that was not there before, where in the world. Like, there was no such product. So yeah, that was a wow moment. But the fun fact was that that lab actually, and the product actually grew with our 1-year-old child. So so both of them were raised together.
1 year old child. That must be very challenging, very difficult. Raising a child and raising your startup like your
Right.
baby.
Right. So it was that. And honestly, when we were raising funds, it was like, and when we were low on funds, because when you're developing a product like electronics product, you definitely need a lot of funds, because a lot of time, the prototype fails and the whole circuit and everything goes waste. And we had to decide whether, with the the less funds, whatever funds we had, whether to go for our baby's diaper or whether to go for a new circuit. So so that was always a call that we had to take. But yeah, when we see, when we look back now, it's really, we really find it funny, and we really laugh at all those moments.
I love that story. Yeah, when you look back, I was just gonna like, okay, that's so funny. Like,
Yeah.
what to choose, the diaper or this thing for your another baby? Yeah, they both grew up in your bedroom,
Yes.
right? Okay, so right now, how's that received first? Okay, yeah, I wanna ask. You said you presented it to how many investors? 15?
So yeah,
50.
there was a contest, and about 50 investors were present, and they had to make, like, it was like a Shark Tank. I mean, initially there was no Shark Tank India, so it was like a Shark Tank, and we presented it, and they were wow. We didn't get any fundraise, but yeah, they were. We got a lot of appreciation from the stakeholders. Like, there were medical professionals in that event, there were investors and a lot of other people. So yeah, so that gave us encouragement that whatever we are doing right, we are moving in the right direction, we should continue it.
Okay, and who was the first investor? When did you raise it? And the first believers? Talk to us about that.
So, to be honest, we were lucky enough to get, initial believers, and there were few angel investors who believed in us, and they held our hands and they said, we believe that this is going to be the future. Because at that time in 2014-15, nobody could actually think that such medical device can be developed in India, and it will be used by both the doctors and the patients. But they were believers, they were power sighted people who actually supported us. And then the maximum support came from the government of India also. So we got some grants, we got some support from government of India funding agencies for the sheer research that we were doing. And finally, when we were able to commercialize the product, then eventually we get more investors.
Congratulations. I'm happy to hear that. And yes, it started first in a matchbox, you
Yeah.
said. How does it look like now? And how does it work?
Yes, so I have this device. It's like this right now, and it has two sensors on top and one side sensor. So either you have to put your thumbs on both the sensors, or you have to touch the side sensor at different parts of your chest. So it's like, one by one you have to touch it at 6 different points, and a complete medical ECG report is generated on your mobile phone. And then that report is in the PDF format, so you can immediately share it to the doctor, or to your family or friend or anything, and if there is any problem, and we also have doctors on our platform. So if in case you do not know that where to send, you can send it to our panel of doctors, and we will get it reviewed and send it back within 10 minutes. And in case there's a problem, you can actually rush to the hospital, or actually take the right action.
Wow. That's really revolutionary. And it's so, so much better than a matchbox now,
Yeah,
right?
definitely.
Okay. Definitely, 100%. How was that product received in India? I mean, when you talk to us about the cost.
Yeah. So, to be honest, when we were developing it, we thought of involving doctors in its development, because they were the major stakeholders and they could advise us the best. So, we involved some doctors, some cardiologists, and they actually advised us. There were a few other products which actually gave one eighth of the result, but they said, to make it medically accurate and medically viable, you have to make it complete 12 leads, which is a medical grade ECG gold standard. So that's how the product got improved over the years. And we also, like, our first customer was also a cardiologist, and he just called upon us and he said, show me what you have, this pocket ECG device I want to see. And we just went and demonstrated the product to him, and he was so amazed to see the product, and that too which is developed in India. He instantly wrote a check for us. So that was our first sale. And post that, we thought that since our team was very small, we did not have a big sales team. We thought of leveraging the e-commerce platforms for selling our device, and that's how we put it on Amazon and then our own web store and everything. And today, it's well received by both the doctors as well as by the heart patients. So even the doctors use it as a point of care device in their clinics and their home visits, and remote visits, like village visits, etc. And people are using it in their homes for monitoring their cardiac problems, managing it in case they are having any problem, any pain or anything, quickly taking their ECG and sharing the reports to the doctor. So currently, Sanket Life is a big brand in India, and we are also selling internationally. We are selling. We have set up our markets in countries like Zambia, South Africa, and we are also moving in US and Europe. Like, we are waiting for the regulatory approvals. So yes, and now today, after the pandemic, the self monitoring of health has become so important that today, people have realized that they need to have such devices in their pockets or in their homes, and they need to take care of their health themselves.
Wow. This pocket ECG device. So in India, it was well received. You said doctors and as well as normal people, right,
Yeah.
can afford and use the product. What are your plans right now? I mean, what's the journey ahead? You said you're going to different markets outside of India, right?
Yes. So yes, that's a plan. We have, as I said, cardiac problem, CVD is a global problem. It's not limited to India. So we definitely have a lot of interest from other markets. I mean, we are lucky that we don't have to go to those markets. We are getting interest from them themselves, and they want to purchase and sell the devices in their own countries. Apart from that, we are also working on multiple products. So during pandemic time, we launched a multi-parameter product, which is again a pocket size, but it measures three more parameters like blood oxygen, temperature, your heart rate, and ECG. So that all that in one product, and that too, it's like only touch base, so anybody can use it. And then we are working on some other products also, which we'll announce as and when. But yes, the plans are big. We are actually going to establish ourselves as a medical devices country. And till now, whatever electronics market we have in India, either it is being traded from anywhere outside India or it is being assembled. But we are the front runners who are also manufacturing our products in India. So it's like, we have to develop, we have to set up ourselves as a manufacturer of medical devices. And India is a country of multiple problems. So CVD is just one problem that we picked up, but then there are many other problems which need to be solved. So eventually, we'll keep on innovating more devices like this.
Yeah, and you said you have a mobile app,
Yes.
right? So you can what and the instructions or the report you can get there. What are some of the challenges you face when it comes to like development operations?
So, like any other startup, there were a lot of challenges. Firstly, obviously, the funds are always a challenge. Where to get, how to manage those funds. Then getting right talent and retaining that talent. India is a country full of engineers, but then training them and actually getting them to innovate. So that's a challenge. Then, of course, since it is a medical device, regulatory framework in India is still developing. So, since we do not have a framework, we only can either follow the West countries, like what standards they follow, or we have to create our own standards. So that is a challenge that we face, because it's a medical device. We cannot just develop anything and start selling. So we have to have that kind of quality standard also. So yeah, there are many challenges, especially when you're working in a medical device field, and getting people believe in your product, to actually trust your product, the customer retention and the customer success, and the kind of service we provide to our customers. So we work day in and day out towards that.
How many people are there in your team right now?
So right now we have about 70 people, and that
Wow.
includes the production team, the manufacturing setup, as well as the R&D team, along with the marketing and sales and support groups.
I'm just curious, like, how is it like a female founder starting a startup in India? How is the experience?
So to be honest, it's like same in any other part of the world. Females are actually considered to be less powerful, and especially if you're in tech domain, it's mostly considered that females can do apparel or makeup and all of that, but tech thing is not a female's cup of tea. But I think once you prove yourself, and once you actually out there taking up challenges on face, I think it's not that bad. And female entrepreneurs are rising in India, and tech entrepreneurs are rising in India every day. And it's a real good time to be an entrepreneur in India. So I think, yeah, we are in the right place at the right time.
Wow. What is your work culture like? I mean, handling 70 people, what do you think is your, yeah, company values and culture?
Yeah, so till now, me and Rahul, we both are very hands-on founders. We like to interact with each and every person in our team. So till now, it was like, we personally used to mentor them, and each and every team we have developed ourselves. So whatever values, whatever culture, and especially when you are innovating something, a culture of innovation, a culture of hustle has to be there, and it has to be across your team. Not one or two people can do that. So we actually believe that we wanted to be in touch with everyone. And now, as the team is growing, we are developing more leaders like us. So the leaders are getting developed under us, and they are taking the culture forward.
Okay. So, since you're a female founder, do you also look for females on the
Yeah.
team, or how is the percentage?
Yeah, so I think I already have an affinity towards female team members. So a lot of my team members are female, and I
Okay.
we don't put a we don't put some bar towards it that in this department we won't need females, and in this department we only need females. I think there are females in all kind of departments that are in Agatsa, and they are proving themselves to be great. I mean, all of them. And the fact that they have a female founder, it makes them also comfortable, and they are like, that yeah, we can also do this thing, and they are also growing towards I mean, their own career goals. So I think we don't have any such bar in Agatsa that we don't want females in certain department and we only want females in certain department, and we have a lot of females. I think I mean, obviously, if only I have to take decision, I would make it 50-50%, but till now it's not, we have not reached there, but yeah, you never know.
Yes. But very open. I mean, to diversity, inclusivity, inclusion, right? Equality. Okay. So, yes, I mean, it really feels so empowering, like having a female founder. And as you said, there's a lot of engineers, like even female engineers right now, right?
Yes.
Okay. For those young talents or engineers who are aspiring, to create an impact, joining your company or other startups that create an impact, what are your tips? Like, how should they prepare in order to be effective in a startup?
Yeah, I think this generation is already very evolved, May, and we don't need to give them tips. They already know and they already prepared themselves for what they are actually planning to do, and whatever goals they have. The only thing is that they have to be a little more. They need to be more stable. They need to believe in themselves. They need to believe in what they're doing, rather than get taking pressure from their peers, like what my peer is doing, and what I should also be at the same place. And I think with time, they need to have a little more patience. That's it. Otherwise, they are very evolved. They are very up to the mark in everything, and they don't need many tips.
Okay, like they know what to do, they know what they want,
Yeah,
right? They just peer pressure. So sometimes, example, their friends work in a multinational company and they also want to work there.
exactly, exactly. Even inside a startup, there might be some teams who are working, who need to work harder at times, and then there are teams which are like taking it slow. So even that comparison should not happen. And then every time, so suppose if we're developing a product, then the product team is working harder, but the marketing and sales team might be having easy at that time. But once the product is launched, the marketing and sales team is on their toes to sell the product. So it's like it's always that. So yeah, so comparison is not something that they should believe in, and healthy competition should be there. But yeah, so I think that's the only tip I would like to give them.
Yes, like healthy competition, meaning just get inspired by
Yes,
what other people or celebrate with other people's achievements. I
right,
love that.
right,
Yes, not compare. Just do your best.
exactly, yeah.
Okay. So, do you have any other words or any question that I forgot to ask you that you wanted to say to whoever will listen? The takeaway that you want to leave our listeners?
So, to be honest, May, we didn't aspire to have a startup. We started with a problem that we wanted to solve. And I think all startups and everybody who wants to be an entrepreneur or who wants to start on their own, they need to identify that niche and that problem that they're going to solve, and then they only should have that their focus on that problem. I think then anything is achievable, and then we don't have to look anywhere else, and then we don't have to look, because the sheer fact, when we look behind, the sheer fact that we are saving lives is something that keeps us going. So I think this is something that I would like to leave my listeners on, that find that purpose, find that one thing that you want to solve for your country, for the world, and then just stick around it.
That is one of the things I love being here on the I Am podcast. Like I come across, meet people who are creating a dent in the universe. I mean, not just for the profit or money, right? But there's really a purpose
Yeah.
behind. Okay, so can you say I am Neha and I am on the I Am podcast?
Hi, I am Neha and I am on the I Am podcast.
Yeah, okay. So, to those who are interested in getting this pocket ECG device, where can they reach you?
So we are available on Amazon India, and then we have a web store called www.sanketlife.in, and we have all our products on this web store. People can just go and purchase it. Even international people, international customers, most welcome. We do ship internationally, so everyone is welcome to visit.
Okay. Thank you, Neha, and all the best to Agatsa.
Thank you, May. Thank you so much.
This podcast is powered by imops.io. Optimize your cloud infrastructure and CI/CD process with imops.io dedicated DevOps team. Check out www.imops.io and get a DevOps team now. Make sure to check out www.imops.io if you want to know more about us. Subscribe to our podcast so you can get notified every time we post a new video. Thank you, and you have a great day.